Good evening. Since I didn't stream Friday or Sunday, I figured I'd do a stream on Monday to make up for it. I was away on vacation and came back about an hour ago, so I just needed to find something real quick to put up, and I figured it was probably a good one to put up. This is Holocure, a fan game created by KU, an animator who's worked on other games as like River City Girls. This is a fan game inspired by Vampire Survivors, obviously with a Hololive coat of painting on it. As you will soon see, it plays pretty similarly to Vampire Survivors, but they managed to throw some extra stuff over it. I guess we can go over the overview real quick. So this is your premise. People discovered VTubers and grew to like them, but suddenly a nefarious force comes in and makes them crazy. Now they just want to really, really love them. Now it's up to them to beat some sense back into them, and so begins the game. So I did. Actually, I know this came out like a week or two ago, so I did download it then, play a little bit, so I did put some time into it. Originally, you would start off with just Myth, and the other folks you have to unlock via a gacha system, so I probably won't have to worry about missing out on any of the characters. I don't think I'll go through all of them tonight. This might be a shorter stream, but yeah. Anyways, enough talking. We should probably just choose one and get started already. So the game is kind of similar to Vampire Survivors, where you have a mob of enemies out there. And one moment, please. So yeah, like Vampire Survivors, it's you against a crowd of enemies. Unlike Vampire Survivors, each character has a weapon that's completely unique to them. Their starting weapon, only they wield. Although, like Vampire Survivors, they do have a mix of other weapons that they can pick up from the general pool. And just like Vampire Survivors, you gotta pick up pickups on the ground to increase experience, level up. So you always get 4 choices, and in addition to weapons and items, which are like passives, you also have, each character also has personal skills that kind of clue you in on what kind of playstyle that they'll have. Also, one more thing is that each one has an ultimate. It depends. So Kiara's special is a big, huge fire attack that damages everything within its range. It also has a magnet power, which draws all the experience gems to you. This is not readily apparent, but also has a key that you can hold that they call strafe, that lets you lock in a direction that your weapon swings, which actually comes in handy because most of the characters' personal weapons have a melee range to them, so you kind of want to be able to lock into a certain direction sometimes, like now. So, also like Vampire Survivors, there are at fixed time periods in which you'll have certain enemy configurations come out. They're pretty much DPS checks. If you don't have enough DPS to get by them, you will most likely get wiped out. It becomes especially prominent later on because damage kind of scales to a great degree in this game. It's like at the start, most enemies will do like scratch damage to you. You'll be able to get through a crowd without getting too damaged, but once you get pretty late in a run, if you try to even touch an enemy, it's usually curtains for you, so you have to be very careful where you step. I want to do have giant boss class enemies. Actually, there's no change to them. Just like Vampire Survivors, you get a chest from them, you get your animation, you get money, you get a random item, though unlike Vampire Survivors, you can get something that you don't already own, though you have the choice of just not taking it if you don't want it. Usually what I like to do is try to upgrade their personal weapon first, because they usually get the most significant upgrade as they level up. Although there are certain other weapons that I'll aim for. If given the choice, my priority is usually get at least level 1 of their personal skills and then try to get the particular weapons I want. And if I can't do any of that, I'll just go for their personal weapon. You may notice that I'm gunning for certain weapons. Once I get to the point where that will become important, I will explain. But for now, I will just continue saving the fans. Yes, given the nature of the game, you don't really kill them. You're just knocking them to their senses. So you notice the counter on the top right there has stars, which kind of implies it's a KO counter. So, yeah, I guess it's more like Dynasty Warriors. Even though you're cutting them, you're burning them, you're throwing axes and books and sometimes even bombs and shooting guns. It's okay. They can take it. The worst that happens to them is that they get knocked to their senses, which is probably a good thing. Because idols massacre a crowd of fans, more than 11 probably isn't the best look for them. This is one where if I had more DPS I'd probably stay inside, but I want to get out before they potentially overrun me. So these types of enemies usually disappear pretty quickly, so I want to try to kill them as fast as I can and take their experience so I can absorb. Aha, now I absorb all their powers. I guess also in like Vampire Survivors, sometimes they'll give you an option of just, hey, here's a stat bonus. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's fine. I should probably get down and get the not Amazon delivery box. The timing of the music doesn't quite line up with the item reveal, but this is a first release, so you know, probably not highest on the priority list right now. I always like meta upgrades, I think. I've mentioned this already. But yeah, something like experience gain is pretty useful, because that means I can get levels more quickly and perhaps potentially... oh yeah, it's just more levels more quickly. Which also means more levels overall, so the earlier you get items like that, the better they usually are. Some of these sequences make you feel like you're playing a bullet hell game. They're not even the most complicated ones. So, all the weapons, even the personal ones, go up to level 7. The ones that are in the common pool just go up to level max. But the personal weapon is max level, which is still level 7, is called Awakened Weapon instead. But it does give a more substantial upgrade compared to the common weapons. So maybe it's appropriate. Nice dinner, fried shrimp. Also, any upgrade that just increases the number of times it hits an enemy is just a massive DPS increase. This item is interesting. You lose 5 HP per second, but you gain 30% damage, so most of the time you're probably going to be sitting at 1, which means that the next hit will usually take you out. But as you may have noticed, Yara's skills kind of emphasize just keeping on the move, because one of the skills gives her an increased buff the longer she keeps going, and she also has another skill that leaves a trail of fire wherever she goes. And in the off chance that you find yourself completely surrounded and nowhere to go, the final skill reduces damage you take a certain number of times. Sometimes there will be times that will conspire to stop you, like this Mad Forest Tribute. Thankfully easy to buster. But yeah, see, enemies are doing 4 damage where they did 2 to 3 to start. This ramps up even worse. Oh, the Anvil's another thing that's different, where once you get it, you can just straight up upgrade anything that you have in your inventory. And if you're just upgrading them regularly in the regular levels, it's nothing, but if you want to increase their limit, it'll cost you some money, and success rate goes down each time you upgrade it. So we'll just go for the axe for now. I believe that is a Suisse reference. Fortunately, most of my knowledge of vtubing is on the English side, so I really can't say much except for the big obvious ones. Sorry. Yeah, there's a lot of experience to pick up, so just in case there wasn't enough incentive to keep on the move. Nightly milk. Just overall useful. Pick up radius and area increase. Can't go wrong with that. I'm saying, like vampire survivors, there's like no weapon that just does 1 stat increase. They usually increase 2 or 3 or give some other perk. Or in terms of damage, they all have some sort of significant disadvantage. Like you saw the one that yeah, Fire Sword. Because she's a phoenix. Get it? But yeah, there were other items that increase attack, but they all come at a significant cost. Oh, it's my part I don't like. Super Skeleton. Has anyone played Super Hexagon? That's like a really old game, and super simple. Though, Golden Anvil, we'll get back to that. I just need to survive Super Skeleton first. Yeah, Super Hexagon is a pretty rad game. It's super cheap too. If you get on the Steam sale, it's even cheaper. So here's the other part. This is why I'm concentrated on 2 weapons. Yeah, it's probably the best thing to pick up for now. Vampire. This is Holocure's version of Evolution / Union, the collab. Get it? Because YouTubers do collabs a lot. So when you get certain weapons to max level, you can collab them together or fuse them into a single, more substantially powerful weapon, like this one, the BL Fujoshi book. Yeah. No, shameless. And you'll see how shameless this weapon is because it's just a gigantic AoE death field around me now. Part of the reason why I usually go for this weapon first. It just covers a lot. Any enemy that tries to get close will either be annihilated or weak enough that the rest of the weapons will take care of them. It's kind of funny, you see more Vampire Survivors parallels, like the crowd of KFP who sub in for the bats in Mad Forest. Guess I forgot to mention. There are two modes, so the one I selected on top was a stage mode, which has a fixed endpoint. In this stage's case, it's after 20 minutes you defeat the final boss there, and you win. And then there's an endless mode where you can play beyond that. Oh boy. Yeah, you can play beyond the regular stage box and get to the end, but for now I will have to defeat Godzilla. Alright, I have my ult ready. Should let loose. All good. Yeah, here's another one. Another one that increases your damage, but you lose a lot of crit chance, and for most characters that's gonna eliminate it entirely. Because it can go into negatives, and obviously if it's negative, then you're never gonna get crit chance. So we'll just grab a cutting board. It's a chest joke. So the other two weapons I picked up can also be collabed. Kind of fun. Yeah, the collab weapons are pretty nuts in this game. If you get at least one of them, you're probably going to go very far. But once you get high enough, you could probably go for 2, even 3. Just like Vampire Survivors, you want to try to max level as many things as you can, because that removes them from the pool, which kind of sort of frees up space for other things, although probably more important in Vampire Survivors, since that has more things competing for the same slot. We're not quite there yet in this game. Granted, we do have stat ups as well, the kind of stat ups and personal skills that do dilute the pool a little bit. And again, given how important they are, you probably always want to go for personal skills, and at least personal skills and a personal weapon. This reminds me of Geometry Wars. It's the wave with the really little enemies. It always caused immediate sets of dread, especially in Geometry Wars, because they had that low buzzing sound where you see hundreds and hundreds of little dots suddenly swarming towards you. And as much as you fire against them, it seems like all you can do is stem the tide. Really could use another magnet power-up right now. These guys are not worth using an ult on, but I should probably run to another boss enemy soon. But yeah, guessing since it's stage 1 and all the EN mems are represented here, you also get all the the representations of the EN fans. You have noticed all of them. It's coming in waves. It's like Vampire Survivors. They're progressively stronger each time. My priority right now is to level up the cutting board and hollow bomb and get their collab. I'll pick something else up. Crossfire. Crossfire. I don't remember the site YTMND. Remember, it feels like internet pre-internet. Like kind of the site where I learned the importance of memes, although that site called it fads. And one of the fads or memes they had on that site was the Metal Gear Solid screen. You know the one? Snake. And people will just put different things to the Metal Gear Solid Game Over music. So, like for example, the part in SpongeBob SquarePants where the guy yells "Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate," and you hear the Game Over theme behind it. Ha ha ha! Funny. Or in this case, the old Crossfire commercial theme where they would yell "Crossfire, Crossfire." You would hear that to the Metal Gear theme, and haha, it's funny because it's like fitting and it's a reference. But yeah, I had a ton of fads like that. I actually remember that site like grew really stagnant after a while. People moved on, just like as they are wont to do once the new hotness has worn out. Amazingly enough, I went back to it and it's like, yeah, there was a period where like the site founder left, but I don't know, he came back and was just vowed to keep it alive, which you know what, that's good. I feel like YTMND is probably one of those sites that should be saved. I feel like does have a place in internet history. I guess before YTMND there was Homestar Runner, which was internet, again, internet before the internet became the internet. I came out when I was even back in school, and I just remember every week new Strong Bad email would come out and you all have a good guffaw over it, come into school, and then my friends and I would just start talking about it and all the references and the funniest jokes they had there. And we'd start repeating things like the Trogdor theme, or computer over, virus equals very yes, or light switch raves, or the Cibby song. Man, that was one that relied a lot on Flash. I imagine these days probably moved somewhere else, but I guess you wouldn't be able to access it anymore unless someone managed to preserve it. Ah, it's a shame. I remember being a big part of my school life. Now, like Vampire Survivors, you can get like a possibility of having 3 items drop from a box. There's no 5 drops as far as I know, so I guess can't get really lucky, just like pretty lucky. Of course, it's a holiday night tonight, so cars are once again out on the prowl. Probably be like this all summer. Well, not because it's just summer break, but also it's good weather for people to bring out their ego compensators. Now this is the other run ender here. Oh. This is what I get for not paying attention. Normally I would just camp over there, but I guess I got overrun by the saplings. Well, anyways, that's one character, but the other fun part is the shop. There's a gacha where you can go spend your money to try to summon or debut characters, but I have all of them, so as I was saying, I have all of them, but I might go back once I get everything else to just get that incremental power increase. So there's also an upgrade shop, just like Vampire Survivors. You can spend it on various things like EXP gain, speed, attack, health, whatever, etc, etc. I haven't gotten a reroll yet, so I might as well go for that. There's also a hardcore option where you get one hit and you die mode, but it's a massive score boost in the list mode. But I'm not confident in my skills to do that, so we'll just stick with a reroll. It's like a Vampire Survivors reroll. We'll play another character. How's about we go with the Rapping Reaper, Calliope Morty. She was one character that actually got changed in update, so it used to be her personal weapon had a dead zone in front, where so you did have to maintain a certain range in which to hit people, but they updated that, so now her personal weapon hits everywhere in front of her, so you don't have to worry about maintaining a certain range in order to kill dudes. You just get up to their face if you want. But yeah, before that, something like the spider cooking would be extremely useful, because that would help cover the dead zone that the scythe used to have. Nowadays, not so much. I'm just picking it up for a different reason, because, as you may have guessed, spider cooking and the elite lava bucket, you have a collab, and that one is also absurd. So, Callie's personal skills are very, very easy to understand. It doesn't really come into play until you get 3 of them. The first one I picked up, it's like every enemy killed gives her a buff to her stats. And since you're killing enemies all the time, it's pretty easy to maintain the maximum amount of stacks. So now we get there. And then we have the Wrapper. Targets within a certain range, extra damage. Also super easy. Her ult, also very easy to understand. Becomes stronger, hits harder. So, let's get up in their face. Well, hopefully they're gone by now. Anyways. Massively increased buff. If I had a crit rate boost, you would see red numbers, but not quite there, unfortunately. See, I don't like items that force me to trade something off. Especially in a game like this, where damage ramps up so much that if you step the wrong way late game, you're probably going to die. Anyways, I know spider cooking was a Hot Chama reference. A classic. Time she added a spider to the food. The lava bucket is a Miko meme. She seems to have extremely bad luck when it comes to carrying lava. They give me an option to level up the cooking in the bucket. Well, maybe this will... Ah! Ooh, here we go. 3 items. I really want that to open one at a time and just have it to the beat. That'd be really cool. Anyways, these are probably everything I want. Pound being hit. I don't know if I want this because late in the game I don't want to be hit, so we'll save the item slot for something that will probably be more useful. So admittedly, just like how there is the T that increases your crit rate when you get hit, there's another item which increases your hit rate when you don't get hit. So imagine if you put those two together. Ah, here we go. Money boost. Gonna get that. Yeah, you put those two together and you will have a guaranteed crit increase, which isn't too bad. Think about it. Yeah, sorry about that. Had an emergency vehicle going their way through. Yes. In the US at least, it's 4th of July, and I just happen to be near a place where people celebrate a lot, so traffic has been pretty backed up outside, which unfortunately means if you have any obnoxious folk that are, say, doing some earth-shattering bass boost blaring out of their cars, or anyone who decides to rev their ego compensators, then they're just going to be around that much longer. It sucks, but it is what it is. One of these days I'm gonna hope to move. That'll probably be a while out though, so for now I'll just have to take it. It's just how it is. I don't even remember what where was I again? Well, I guess I should say with certain ults, sometimes I just forget I have them. Like this one. Granted, it does come back. It doesn't come back too slowly, but you know, there's always, even then, there's still that time where you think, oh, what if I need it later? Thankfully, this game is not too hard. If boss appears, then you could probably ult and be safe with it, but there are other cases where it might be trickier. Maybe it's like the action you associate with it just requires too much concentration. Otherwise, no, back when Rock Band was in vogue, I played that with some of my friends, and trying to get them to activate star power was always work and a half. I'd be concentrating on my part, and I'd look over my bandmates, and they'd be sitting on completely full star power meters, and I'm just thinking to myself, oh man, just activate it, get ourselves a big score boost. Of course for them, it's not about scoring high, it's just about being able to play that song, pretend you're rocking out. So I guess I can't be too mad at them. Because really that's what I'd be doing it in multiplayer for as well. Single player I might do the score chasing, but when I'm playing with friends, yeah, I don't care if I probably shouldn't care if they do star power or not. This is a good time to do the ult, because there's a big one. Just cut him down. Pretend this is a forest, and your scythe is an axe. There's an actual axe you could get instead. Ooh, it's a triple. Yeah, you know what? I'll take the axe. I was gonna pick it up anyway. Max out Workaholic. Let me remove it from the pool. Yeah, the personal skills max out at 3. Max out this too, because a money booster is always handy. Though not every item and weapon is unlocked right away, you do have to play the game a bit to unlock the other stuff. Fortunately, I do not know the exact unlock conditions, but it's either tied to playtime or hitting certain milestones with some characters. Or I should have gone straight to the size to arc. It's more of them that way. Yeah, and they're gone. It's usually worth trying to go for the fixed wave, the fixed appearances of enemies. Because if you're in big groups, and that's a lot of experience that could potentially farm if you have enough DPS to take them out. I did notice that they are a touch more durable than the usual, so you gotta be careful. gold anvil, so you know what that means. I'm gonna put them together. What happens when you get bad cooking in a lava bucket? A bucket of bad cooking. That's probably really, really hot. Side effects include death because you're drinking freaking lava. So now this basically turns into the evolved holy water. You just get big AoE damage fields on the ground. It's just as good as BL Fujoshi, which is essentially the ultimate orbiting particle barrier weapon. Another big enemy to ult on. Super Skeleton returns. Get some funky techno music to go with this. I used to have a lot of trouble with this part, but seems like it's not so bad now. I feel like even though I try to slip between them, I would always get hit somehow and then just get wiped out. I think the key to it is just start moving, because that's where the gaps are to start, so if you can get them early, then they won't close you off and corner you. Of course, again, 4th of July weekend, so there's gonna be fireworks. I'm guessing it's starting now. Yeah, don't worry, those are fireworks. Oh wow, I didn't realize I hadn't picked up the death skill yet. Alright, well, better get that. At least that'll round everything out, so... I want to say one of the skills used to be, it was a chance for instant KO, but they moved that over to the scythe. And now, that skill has a chance to just create an explosion. It's like the one item in 30XX. Just get chain damage all over the place. And if they're not dead from the chain explosions, usually a few more hits from the rest of your arsenal will take them out. I should say they're knocked out, they're not dead. No one dies. Again, they're just knocked out. Rather unfortunate if this was actually a massacre and not just a massive cure event. I see the red numbers pop up, and the boss evaporates in 10 seconds. So we'll concentrate on leveling up the axe in the BL book, because I love that collab weapon. I feel like success or failure in runs is usually dependent on whether you can get a gigantic AoE weapon, where the DPS checks roll in. Imagine anything that hits over a wide area is just really useful to have. Again, it softens them up if it doesn't outright take them down. Alright, we are at the halfway point for stage mode. Yeah, it was another emergency vehicle. I guess the thing about Holiday Night is that you'll probably have an increased chance that you need a lot of emergency response, especially on a night where launching fireworks is encouraged. I imagine there's probably a lot of cases involving that some way or another. And the only explosives I have right now are these packaged bombs. It's a real tricky part. It's not my time to die. Not yet. I will not fall. Not here. Not today. How did the line in Darkest Dungeon go? The one where you get the virtue. The one virtue. What was it? Many fall in the face of battle, but not this one. Not today. Boy, the narrator in Darkest Dungeon is a real treat. Yeah, so as I was saying, the Darkest Dungeon narrator is real fantastic. A lot of quotable stuff from him. Most of all, remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Always a good reminder, as well as a very quotable quote. Ooh, try saying that 5 times fast. Quotable quote. Quotable quote. It's the same word, same pronunciation for some reason. That's a very tongue twister statement for me. I hope emergency services gets a good rap out of this, because they're working overtime this weekend. My goodness. Again, dealing with fireworks, there's always that likelihood that someone's gonna get hurt real bad by it. Guess I should be thankful that no one I know has been greatly affected by a stray firework, but I have heard plenty of horror stories about unfortunate folks who happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that always sucks. Which always blows when yeah. Anyways, enough about that. Let's concentrate on defeating the saplings and the humans. Got about another 3 minutes in the stage to go, and then we'll hit the stage boss. Thankfully, I've got the appropriate items I need to hopefully stay alive. Study glasses would have been useful much earlier, but now I will just grab myself more weapon upgrades. See if I can get myself a third collab weapon before I hit final boss level. First, a big one appears, so it's time to ult. Let's see the red numbers fly. Everyone has to have made it to their place, right? They all gotta be where they want to be now to see the fireworks show, or at least close to it. Yeah. Guess it's probably fortunate for me I didn't spend my weekend at my place. I did go to the beach. Just, you know, your usual rest and relaxation, because it was nice. The beach I was at was really relaxing. It was a nice secluded area in which I could gather my thoughts, just sit on the sand, listen to the waves. Did do a little catch up on my usual stuff. When I went there back in the day, I would have to carry a few books with me, but now that I have a tablet, I can just download a couple of books that I managed to gather from the Humble Bundle, load this up, and spend a few hours reading. You got the wind, the waves in the background, and the wind of the beach. It really does relax you. I think I really needed a good beach trip this time around. Although I always like a little personal time, so if I get like an extended weekend in which I'm like going somewhere, I always like to take an extra day off or two so I can still have a personal day. I guess it's just a good idea to just tack it on to times in which I have a holiday, because it just means I get an even longer break, which is always fun. Alright, so I do have the required max level weapons for another collab weapon. We'll see if I can get an anvil up. Of course, we're in the final minutes, so gotta throw one last onslaught of cronies, humans, and saplings. Thankfully, I do have the DPS required to hold them at bay. So, 10 seconds, we will meet the stage boss. Alright, I think I can collab these two. At least get me one more level up weapon. Gets me the slaying board when you combine the bomb and the cutting board. It's just giant cutting boards falling from the sky. And not a moment too soon, because now we have the stage boss, which is of course none other than Small Ame, who does her own falling from the sky. The problem is, for some reason, she's targeting a father and not a mother. Oh, never you mind that. Versus we have a overpowered bonus. I think this is the most coins I've ever gotten in a single run. 4,000. Since I've completed the stage, I get a win bonus. So, we'll go back to the main menu and see what we can pick. Probably only gonna get... Yeah, I feel like it's gonna get noisier from here on out, so before I just do one more run and then just end things here. Yeah, so I'm gonna switch groups here from Myth to Council. Play as Forgetful, Keeper of Civilization, Mume, Nanashi. I forgot to mention that I did buy a reroll. This works a lot like a Vampire Survivors reroll, which if you don't like any of the options presented to you, press reroll and then you'll get a new set of options. But hopefully there's something here that I want. With Mume, priorities are slightly different. I want to try to upgrade the personal weapon as quickly as possible. That's because the Awakened version of this is pretty absurd. I did hear it was nerfed, but still doesn't stop it from just being crazy at crowd control. But you gotta be careful what you walk into. I can't remember if Vampire Survivors stopped enemies from walking through solid objects, but unfortunately enemies in Holocure do not have that restriction just yet. Maybe they will later, maybe they won't. It is an early build, so I'm not gonna fret too much over it. Oh yeah, that's a fun one. The moment where we realized that, no, she's not just gonna be some cutie. That aspect of it has been proven over and over. That said, that ult also has a significant disadvantage in that there's only a 30% chance that it won't eliminate all the pickups on the screen. I got lucky that time, but next time I might not be so lucky. I think this particular ult is better saved to be just an emergency get out of crowds button if you have no means of escape and you're about to get overrun. At that point, it's probably worth losing all your potential experience drops in exchange for not getting KO'd. Could really use more personal weapon level ups right now. Well, it's not so bad yet. Just two minutes. Alright, we're almost at the Awakened version. Once the feathers hit level 7, you're gonna see some serious shit. Alright, this might be it. Or we might get a completely new item. Find out. Face mask. See, there's another damage boost, but you get a significant drawback. Take 30% more damage. which admittedly in the late stage is probably the difference between 1 hit and 2 hits. Probably won't last long enough for this to become a severe disadvantage, so I might as well take it. Early on, it's not too bad. No, I really could use the Awakened Feather now. Would not mind having that. Ah, here we go. I can just make it myself. So, feathers home into targets 3 times. Just means every feather becomes a little bouncy knife. It's like Xena's chakrams. Just go and smacking everything in their path. Yeah. Just need the Boys Love book and then I can feel a little better, feel a little more confident that this run will go well. Apart from Friend, like Lumi's theme is ramping up. You have the one skill, which increases your damage the more enemies are on screen. And you have the other skill, which just increases your damage the more enemies you've defeated. Which I guess is appropriate for Civilization, because Civilization's like pretty slow progress, so right fits that 2 of its 3 skills are also built in slow progress up to the max. Friend is kind of the key here because it just throws out a weapon every 5 seconds, and when one of them can be the homing feathers, well, this means you get a lot of feathers flying around. That's the nice thing about Friend is that it also picks up experience, so you don't have to get as close. There we go. Got the book. I just need to max level them. This fireworks show is done. Not hearing anything. That said, there's always a chance that some fool is gonna decide to set off their own personal stash. So we'll see what happens. That's the nice thing about this game, is that you can also skip the box opening animation if once you've seen it enough times. If it were more musically timed, I would totally not mind listening to it. Although I noticed in Vampire Survivors, I've also taken to just skipping the chest whenever it's just 1 or 3 items. But the one thing I will never skip is the 5-item chest, because that is just a level of hype upon itself. Not to mention the way it just really hypes you up is fun. It's like, oh hey, I got 3 items. Nope, I got 5 items. Oh man. It just means so much more progress that you don't have to worry about getting your level ups instead. Nurse's Horn, just what I need. Especially when you get a weapon that just homes in on its enemies. It's just fire and forget. Get close to your foes, you'll get them eventually. Super Skeleton's gonna show up soon. Won't have a big AoE weapon to deal with it. Unfortunately, the ones I have right now aren't going to fend them off for long. 3 more levels and then I need the golden anvil to show up. Yeah. So one thing that perhaps does, unlike Vampire Survivors, where you're guaranteed a weapon evolution or union if you have the correct stuff, max level weapon and passives needed. In this game, you need still only have a chance of getting the gold anvil that you need to collab weapons together. So even if you have like 2 level 7 weapons and the right ones that you need to fuse them together, you still might have to wait a bit before you can get your collab proper. Again, first build, so things might change later on. Let's see how it goes. Oh, thankfully the golden anvil was not. Oh my goodness. Not a moment too soon. I get my super big, large, huge AoE attack just as a super skeleton appears. Alright, it's time to get out of here. Ah, wow, I don't even need to pretend to play super skeleton, I just plow through them. I could probably just stay at the center actually so I can get their experience gems. Now I gain all their powers. And I guess I will just get some bombs and go for the cutting board after that. Ah, good. Magnet just when I need it. Just need the cutting board to show up. Just a walking whirlwind of knockouts. I'm a walking whirlwind of knockouts. Books and axes soften things up, the feathers come in to finish the job. It's actually more fitting if I had the spider cooking. Pretend that I'm poisoning them before finally taking them out. Yeah, so I guess the big deal about that boss is that it has a gigantic laser that it fires out. You do not want to be in its path, it does a ton of damage. You know what, even then, still not as annoying as, dang it. See, I keep forgetting the name of that monster in Monster Hunter that just shoots freaking mouth lasers. That has proven to be the bane of my existence. Have I said this already? Well, if I haven't, then there's a monster that has given me particular trouble in Monster Hunter Rise. As far as my friends have told me, they are a monster that has appeared before. But it's a gorilla-like monster that shoots gigantic mouth laser. Now, one-on-one, it's not so bad. It's when I do one of the rampage quests, that's where it gets tricky, because then I might have to fight multiples of the mouth laser firing monsters at once. And trying to dodge one is bad enough, but it gets really annoying when I'm trying to rush my way towards another enemy, suddenly I get blindsided because of a freaking mouth laser. You know, I fall down, get back up, oh hey, here's another mouth laser to ruin your day. And then try to fall, maybe try to air recover this time. Oh, nope, there's another mouth laser. Aha, now you're knocked out. And while you do get like unlimited retries in a rampage quest, it doesn't really matter because you're gonna lose time running your way back, and that's enough time for the monsters to break the gate and cause you to lose the quest. And you're probably gonna spend like 75% of your time knocked out because the freaking mouth lasers won't leave you alone. Man, I was already having trouble with like the endgame stuff in base game Rise. I am a little concerned about how far I'll be able to get in Sunbreak, because I know they have a Master Rank, which is kind of like the G rank in earlier games. I can only imagine what Master Rank monsters must be like. Admittedly, the high rank stuff in Monster Hunter really did give me trouble until like Apex Mizusune was kind of pretty late in that line, so maybe, assuming that they don't ramp things up straight from endgame high rank and Rise, I could probably get through a little bit of Sunbreak. At the very least, I would want to get the armor parts for the new monsters so I can create more layered armor. Admittedly, I like the layered set I have, but I wouldn't mind having more to just be able to play a little fashion hunter. Admittedly, I was like, I would say there's like a 2-week period of time where I just played the heck out of Monster Hunter. I was just playing every day, and you know what the driving force of that was? Layered armor. Once I hit high rank 8, I got that sweet, sweet layered armor option, so I didn't have to worry about looking like some sort of min-maxer. I could hide that behind my layered set. And it was all worth it. I don't even remember the first time I played with my brothers after just going full ham on getting to rank 8. They were like, oh wow, you've been putting in work. I think amongst my friends, I have the highest hunter rank. I'm at like 99, and the next highest after that is 7. So I haven't even gotten to like the post game stuff. think my one friend has only just beaten the last boss of Rise, and will soon get to the good stuff. My other brothers have only... One of them has only just gotten to high rank, and the other one is working his way through high rank, so... hopefully they'll get to a point. Well, I know they'll keep on playing, because they like it. I haven't been able to touch Sunbreak yet because I've been on break, but I'll be sure to get to that this week, because it just came out and I'm really eager to see what it is. I know the Steam sale is also ending in just a few days, so I should probably take one more run through those sales and see if there's anything I want to grab there. Yeah, I don't know, and streaming is probably a greater incentive for me to just pick up a variety of things. Oh, there's one game specifically I picked up for streaming purposes. I think I mentioned contemplating if I want to play this already, but I do want to try out Voice of Cards. It's like say it's a game where, well, the story that's told through cards, and people said it's like RPG-esque battles in there too. Also, one of the people who helped on it is one Yoko Taro, who you might know also know as the guy who helped with the Nier series and Drakengard, so you know this is going to be interesting. Another collab. We're gonna get the slaying board once again. A flattening board. I could have sworn it said slaying board before. Oh well, I guess they changed it from slaying because slaying has the implication that you're taking them out, while flattening just sounds a lot more cartoonish in return. Instead, aha, you're flattening them like you would in a cartoon. Right, I thought. To grab a third collab weapon. I only need 4 more levels, so shouldn't be too bad. Oh wow. They're not lasting very long. It used to be that the history skill required would only increase every 100 defeats, but since been changed to every 50, so it's a bit easier to ramp that skill up to have a high damage boost. You know, killing comes by naturally. You see, we already have 5,500 kills. As you can imagine, that translates to about actually like a 100% damage boost. That's kind of absurd. There's a cap to it, of course, but it used to be much harder to... the boost wouldn't go as high. I wouldn't say it used to be much harder because kill count's not exactly hard to come by. It's just how much boot the skill will give you, how much of a damage boost the skill will give you. probably be safe. I'm gonna say the box of cronies is usually the last big threat of the stage till small Ame. Most of the other ones are just, hey, we got a big enemy coming to you. As long as you don't touch anything, you should be okay. Little song. I take... well, it won't matter. We're close to the end. I'm not gonna get a 4th collab weapon up there. I'll just take what I can get. Probably take the fan beam as well, since that fires horizontally. It fires vertically. Alright, collab time. And there are more collabs than the combinations I'm picking up. It's just that I happen to like these, so it's usually why I always go for them. Then there are certain items that just have more collabs than others. But you can only pick up each weapon once during a run, so it's not like... so yeah, you do have to pick and choose which collabs you want based on the weapons you pick up. I'm in a good spot, but I'm gonna pause the game real quick because you can check the collab list, as you can see. The other combinations include Light Beam, which is a glow stick and fan beam, which just throws out glow sticks that shoot lasers everywhere. You have the Dragon Fire, a reference to Dearly Departed Holomem. Then you have Idle Concert, Me Comet, and Breathe In type Asakoko. Guess we'll return to the game. Just gotta survive another 1.5 minutes. Getting to drink water. Out of practice for speech for a bit. Part of me thinks I should probably start looking up exercises I can do pre-stream to get my voice into a speaking shape. Alright, now we get to the intense part. Tons of high HP enemies, actually. Now that Mumi's been super buffed, this is just a regular wave. Sure, why not? Experience boost. You know, I can eke out another level or two with it. Oh. That's the part where I would get careless. If I stayed with the crowd too long, my HP would get chunked and then I would be taken out. And just before the final boss as well. Extremely unfortunate. I think that's what they call hubris. Or remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Although in this case it would be quick, but you know, no less insidious. Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't realize I took it out that quickly. I think further tweaks might be needed. Okay. But in any case, I don't think the noise situation is going to improve, so I'll just wrap things up here. This is Holocure, developed by KU. It's a completely free fan game if you probably search for Holocure or KU on Twitter. You will find their itch.io page where you can download the game. It's free, it's cool. I know there are plans to try to implement every Holomem that's got everyone in the English branch. I just need everyone in Indonesia, everyone in the JP branch, and also probably everyone in Stars. And if the rumors are true, we might be seeing even more characters that need to be implemented at some point. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for tuning in. I'll probably return on a Wednesday for Wednesday Night Forza. Probably be back in Lego Valley to try to wrap things up there. Until then, I'm going to go to sleep. Thank you, and good night.